My name is Gaita Sira, and I'm obsessed with the Bible. I claim that Jesus never fulfilled the messianic prophecies. Let's talk about it. Today I'll be going over this comment. Last video I talked about the sign of Ahaz and the word Alma, meaning young woman, and how that was translated into Parthenos, meaning virgin in Greek. Today I'll be going over Mark and a little bit of the Pauline letters and explain why they don't contain a virgin birth narrative. To start us off, Isaiah 17 was not a prophecy about virgin birth, nor was it a prophecy about Jesus. It was a sign given to Isaiah that a child would be born, given the title Emmanuel, meaning God with us, ensuring that Judah would not be destroyed in the Syro-Ephraimite war. This young woman was contemporarily with child, meaning that she was about to have the child very soon. Not talking about a virgin birth 700 years later with Jesus. We talked about how this child, Emmanuel, was probably Isaiah's child, or the son of Ahaz, Hezekiah. Ahaz was a wicked king, but Hezekiah was a righteous ruler. We also talked about how the term Messiah meant a reigning king or high priest in the 8th century BC, not a cosmic savior in the future. But during the Babylonian exile in the Second Temple period, Messiah became a term used for a future Davidic king. And then in the 3rd and 2nd century with the Greek Septuagint, Alma became Parthenos, meaning virgin, allowing reinterpretation through translation that this future Davidic king will be born of a virgin, even though that's not the original context of the Masoretic text. New Testament authors are using the Greek translation to formulate their theological narrative. But why doesn't Mark and the Pauline letters have a virgin birth? In fact, the Pauline letters seem to suggest that Jesus had an ordinary birth. After all, Paul emphasizes Jesus' Davidic descent. So why the omission? Modern day apologists like to explain this by saying that the Gospels detail different areas of Jesus' life, which is partly true and very much a valid claim. But the true reason why Mark and Paul didn't include the virgin birth narrative might be because it wasn't a part of central doctrine yet, and they probably didn't know about the virgin birth at all. That's because Jesus' miracles were developed over time, potentially decades after his death. Mark was written around 65 to 75 CE, 30 to 45 years after Jesus' crucifixion. Even though Mark is after Matthew, Mark is said to be written first. And we know this due to the synopsis problem. More on that later. The authentic Pauline letters are said to be written a little earlier, around 50 to 60 CE. But evidence suggests the virgin birth tradition was developed between 80 and 90 CE, 50 to 60 years after Jesus' crucifixion, and 20 to 30 years after Mark was written. Before this point, early Christians believed that Jesus was anointed as the Son of God during his baptism or resurrection, rather than miraculous conception. This also explains why Mark didn't start with Jesus' birth, but his baptism. Meanwhile, the later written Matthew and Luke develop infancy narratives and embellish fulfilled messianic prophecies. The concept of divine birth aligns with Greco-Roman motifs, painting more grandeur surrounding Jesus and his claim of being Son of God. But that narrative greatly contrasts Jesus' humble humanity and suffering as detailed in Mark. Thus, virgin birth was not a universally held belief amongst early Christians, especially with Paul and Mark, and it didn't become widespread until the 2nd century CE. You can thank Irenaeus, just a martyr, in the Apostles' Creed for that.